There's a lot of people watching this son bitch who wish I did die. But for everyone else, it's cracking mother truckers. Listen, I apologize for I know I uploaded a video yesterday, but dude, I've been under the weather. I think I was starting to get the damn flu. It was no bueno, dude. It's been cold as tits here in old freaking Colorado. And yeah, I was out in it and shit, and I think I got a cold or started getting the flu and something like that. So I'm still getting over it. So if I blow my nose and stuff starts coming out, I apologize. But listen, man, I've been, it's been cold. It's been snowing and stuff, and my truck's broke. I was gonna go do doing donuts in the snow. It'd be real cool, right? But which I've been having a lot of truck problems lately, which we'll get into later. But dude, I've just been sitting at home, kind of doing business crap behind the scenes and whatever, and I've been thinking a lot, dude. And I was like, let's get a dip in, bro. I think it's just time to pack dip spit right now. We're gonna get into some deep shit that you guys have probably never heard me talk about, and I'm gonna tell some old school stories. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This one's for y'all. That's the one. Mud Jug of the Day, badass bourbon, special edition Mud Jug, only about like 100 left or something like that up on mudjug.com. Get it while you can, because it ain't coming back. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, I've been doing a lot of freaking thinking. I was sick. I was laying in bed for 2 days straight, and I was just doing a lot of freaking thinking, which probably ain't good. Probably ain't really good for anybody, honestly. Usually I'm balls deep in work and, not thinking about this type of crap, but I got to thinking about a couple things. First things first, I feel like and this is maybe, a surprise to a lot of you, but I feel like I am a very angry person at times. Behind the scenes, not what you see on the video. Maybe you do see it on the video sometimes, but listen, guys. I'm not everything, what you guys see on here is not exactly who I am, No, that's for every YouTuber, every person that's on TV, movies, that's just not who they are. Don't mind Banjo freaking just chewing a bone while I'm making a gosh dang video right now. Decides, I want to take a nap while he's not filming, and then I want to chew a loud ass bone whenever he is. Anyways, I was just noticing, man, every time I freaking drive, every time I'm in town, when I'm around a bunch of people, I just get so freaking angry, dude. Like, I have not been I don't know how to explain it. I just haven't been, I'm a nice guy when I meet new people and stuff like that, but dude, it's just like, I'm in my head, dude. I'm angry a lot. So that's one thing I was thinking about. And the other thing I was thinking about is you guys. I was thinking about the stuff that I don't put on vidges because I just don't think it's interesting, but now I'm seeing that a lot of people, a lot of you guys in the comments are always like, dude, I want to see you do vlogs and stuff. And I was getting to think of like, man, I wish I did vlogs way back in the day. As many of you guys know, I've been making videos since 2007. I've been making videos over 10 years on this gosh dang website. And I still feel like I've never put like my legit self, I've never just told y'all, I don't know what this is about. I've never showed my true self on the videos, you know what I mean? There's been some times that I have, but it's like, I've never told stories of what I've done and shit. And this is where they both connect, because when I was feeling the whole me just being angry and stuff like that all the time, I just started, when I was sick in bed, I was like, man, sometimes I don't appreciate when I do feel good. When you're sick, you don't appreciate when you're not sick. And then it's kind of the same thing with when I'm so angry all the time, I'm not appreciating what I've done and how I'm actually, oh God, I'm not appreciating that I'm still alive, that I'm doing well, that I'm healthy somewhat from being sick, but I'm not appreciating these things. And then it goes to the other thing, and me not telling you guys everything about me and what I've done and stuff. I kind of wanted to tell a story, 2 stories in particular that happened in Alaska. If you guys don't know, I used to work up in Alaska. So here's a little background. A lot of you guys don't know my background or whatever. And my background is very confusing, and I've done a lot of shit. And when you watch my videos, you probably think that I fuck my cousin and just stay in my little town and drive my trucks, and that's about it. But it's actually the exact freaking opposite. I fuck my brother. So this is officially story time with Outlaw, all right? Now, I don't know if I told this story before. I have videos forever ago whenever I used to fish in Alaska and stuff, and I might have told this story once, maybe. I can't even remember, but just, that was so long ago that the people that were watching back then probably aren't even here anymore. So, and I want to tell this story because it's a lesson to a lot of people out there. And listen, and I want to tell this story because I feel like it'll be a lesson to a lot of you guys out there as well. So, little backstory on me. I graduated high school in 2009 and broke as a sumbitch, worked all throughout high school. My first job was, you know, since a freaking kid, my dad was in construction. You know, I helped him build houses, and from everything from framing to tile, foundation work, freaking carpentry, you know, trim, whatever. I did it all with my dad, right? So I always worked with him and stuff, and then I ended up getting, dude, I've had so many gosh dang jobs. It's ridiculous. Like, I've had so many jobs. There's so many, and most of the time, I would work some things just because I'd get it in my head like, oh yeah, I want to do that just to experience it, and then I'm going to quit and move on to another thing. That was how my brain worked, okay? My goal, like ever since I was a kid, is I just wanted more life experience than anyone. Like, I just wanted to have a shit ton of life experience and be able to do everything. I wanted to be a jack of all trades, a master of none, you know? So I was working with my pops. I wanted to, I worked as a barista. I worked at this coffee shop for like a month and to make a little money. Because I was a broke sumbitch. And then I got a job as a facility manager. I was kind of the maintenance guy for this town hall here in Colorado. And that's my job all throughout high school. I worked there and worked with my dad and stuff on the weekends. But I basically just fixed shit, piping and set up meetings and stuff for the mayor and all this kind of crap and whatever. And that's actually when I started making YouTube videos, is when I worked at that job. One of my first videos ever, that's not even on my channel anymore because a bunch of shit got deleted a long time ago, but was in the office of that place I worked. And so then I graduated high school, and I'm like, I'm not the type of person that can work a 9-to-5 and freaking just do the usual shit, get married and have kids, and I'm just not that type of dude. Where the white picket fence family and all this crap, I'm just like, that shit like, bleh, you know? So I hooked up with a buddy of mine back in the day. His name was Phil. He had another YouTube channel, and him and I were Skyping every night. We're like, dude, this YouTube thing's gonna blow up, man. This is before you could even really make money on YouTube. They didn't even have the partner program back then. And he lived in Florida, and I was born in Florida. Lived in a lot of different states as well. But I was like, dude, how about I move down to Florida and we start making YouTube videos and we create this new channel called Live to Thrill, and we freaking just do it, man. And we live the dream. So packed all my shit up, drove down to Florida in my old Bronco 2, wrecked my freaking Bronco halfway down there, and it was a great time. And this is where I gained a lot of life experience, because we kind of had this whole dream, and our heads were in the clouds, and we're like, yeah, dude, we're gonna do it. He was working at Burger King, and I had no job, and I was like, oh man, I got, you know, $100 in my pocket. This will last me a year, right? No, that wasn't the freaking case. So I had to get another job, and I got a maintenance job at this freaking outside mall in Fort Myers. I had to drive like an hour and 10 minutes to work every day and an hour and 10 back and in traffic, and it was just insanity, right? So the whole YouTube thing didn't work out at that time. I was still making vidges, but it didn't work out. The money wasn't there. You gotta make money to freaking live, dude. So something, you know, with my mind always being like, I wanna do all this crazy shit all the freaking time, I always wanted to go to Alaska and work on a boat. You know, of course, I'm a big outdoorsman. I like to fish and hunt, and the commercial fishing industry interested me for some weird reason, you know? It was known as the deadliest job in the world at that point, still might be, and I just wanted to freaking take the risk and go up there and do it. So I was online, I was looking at shit, and I actually got lucky, and I found this captain's phone number on his website, and I gave him a call out of nowhere. When I was living in Florida, I was broke as fuck, dude. I was broke. Dude. I was in debt with so many people. I owed so many people money. At me, I was like, dude, I can't live this way anymore. I gotta go make some freaking money. And the thing about Alaska is everybody's like, hey dude, you go work up here for a season, you work your freaking dick off, you got a chance, you got a probable chance of dying, but you'll make some good money, right? So I was like, dude, I'm going to freaking Alaska, bro. So I called this captain up. I'm like, hey man, you got any job openings for this next season coming up? Because I'm ready to freaking work. And he was like, yeah. That's it. We did like a phone application type deal. He asked me a bunch of questions and shit for like an hour. He's like, all right, you're hired. And I was like, hey man, I'm broke as shit. I'm gonna have to ask you to fly me to Alaska, and you can just take it out of my pay because I ain't got no gosh dang money to get up there. Luckily he did, and this is where it all freaking started for me. This is how I became a man. Once I got to the state of Alaska, that's when I became a man, dude. Took me a couple months, but that's where I grew my balls. So I get up there and listen, I'm not gonna tell my whole freaking life story here or whatever. I don't think you guys really give a shit, but I was up in Alaska, and you know, the title of this video is The Time I Almost Died Twice. And this is why, you know, the whole me telling this story is because I've been thinking about Alaska a lot lately, and it really does. You know, my mind goes back to that time, and now in this time I really do feel lucky to be here and be able to make videos for you guys and be successful at it, and have all these different businesses, and that's where it all started, man. It's where I got my freaking balls. So here's the deal. First year up in Alaska, I worked there for a couple years, but the first year I went up there was salmon season. And this captain that I worked for, he was the captain of a set net crew. A lot of guys don't know about, you know, commercial fishing is, you know, especially in salmon season, you're using nets. There's, you know, 3 different types of main, you know, types of catching salmon. There's set net, which is the hardest and old school way to catch salmon. There's a purse seine, you know, you freaking use a boat and a skiff, and you go out and you set a big net, whatever. And then there's drift boats, which puts a gill net out, and whatever. We can get into that shit later. But I worked on a set net crew. So basically what happens is you're on land, you mend nets every day, you're making sure all the nets and everything are good, and then what you do is you load that net onto a skiff, and you go out off the beach every gosh dang day, and you set these nets out, and basically from this little aluminum skiff boat, you pick these nets for salmon and stuff like that, and it's all by hand. There's no freaking motors involved, there's no hydraulics involved, it's all by hand, and that what makes it the freaking hardest. So we're about 2 weeks into the season, and the salmon run is just about to happen. And let's just say my captain was a hard-ass, salty sea dog that no one liked. And when I first met him, I thought he was cool and everything like that. And then, like, he just became, once the season started and it was time to make money, he was not a happy person at all. He freaking just never told you good job, never anything. It was just like, get the fucking work done and shut the fuck up. So that kind of made it hard. You know, I was there for 4 months, and I'm like, well, this is great. I feel like a prisoner or something. I can't leave. You don't have a vehicle. You can never go to town. It's literally work every single day for 4 months straight, and you never sleep. And it's like, it's insane. So we're like 2 weeks into the season, and the way this works, the way set netting works is you're on this skiff boat, you've got you've got your net, you've got a lead line which sinks down to the bottom, and you got your cork line which, you know, floats at the top. So your net is kind of here in the middle, and your lead line's down at the bottom, and, you know, you're floating, and it's in between 2 mooring buoys pretty much, and you hook the net to one buoy, and then you have the net in the boat, and you basically freaking drive your boat super fast to the other side while the net's flying out the back through the fair leads, and then you come to the other side of the net, and really quick you have to, you know, tie a bowline knot to the other spindle, and you got to get the net basically in the water, right? So this is where some bad shit happened, and this is funny because this was back in 2011. And I still remember it like it was freaking yesterday, like vivid in my freaking mind, because it was such like a horrific experience. In between these 2 buoys, you have a set line. It's a line, and you're parallel to the line. You've got a bow oarlock. It's an oarlock that sits in the bow of your boat. Front of the set line goes there, and then it goes all the way to the back through the fair leads. You got 2 like poles sticking up, and the set line goes through the fair leads, and you hook your net to that, and then when you're hauling balls to the other side, the net's just flying out the back. And you got to be careful, especially we got 3 people on the skiff. You got your captain who's on the back running the motor, and then you've got 2 people in the front, which is me, and at this time it was my buddy Duncan, who is from Northern California. We're in the front, we're the bowmen, and we're the ones that have to tie off the net and everything like that. The way this works is you have to make sure you know which way the tide is going, so you know which way to set the net. Oh! You gotta know whether the tide's flowing or ebbing. If you're gonna go the wrong way, bad shit frickin' happens. The line gets too tight, things will break. Well, it just so happens that day, now mind you, we've done this for like 2 weeks so far. We're pros. We know what the tits we're doing. We've set like 150 frickin' nets, you know? And it just happened this day, we weren't thinking right. And we read the tide wrong. What happens is we hooked up to the wrong buoy at first, and we decided to set the net going into the tide. And that's not it's not good, dude. Basically, the current's just ripping against you. It was pretty rough that day as well, and bad shit happens. Our captain always told us bad shit happens, you know, when you do that, so don't fucking do it. And, you know, we never experienced anything like this before, so this is what happened. Mind you, you've got this set line in the middle of the boat, okay? The net is hooked up to it. Me and Duncan are both on one side of the set line, and we're watching the net just fly out, and we're getting ready to hit that other buoy. Well, we knew something was wrong when we didn't even get halfway through, and the bow oarlock, it just completely breaks, flies into the freaking water, and the set line, super freaking tight, pinches us against the boat. And I mean, you could flick this thing and it'll sound like a guitar string. Like, it is so gosh dang tight. Like, you can flick the thing with your finger and it hurts your finger for trying to flick it. So the bow oarlock breaks, and that's the worst thing that could ever happen, because then your set line just goes haywire. Yeah, it was no bueno. So the set line pinches Duncan up and I against the side of the skiff, and we literally cannot move. Like, we're both like, it's digging into our stomachs and we can't do anything. We look back to the back of the boat, and our captain just gets clotheslined by the set line. He does like a freaking backflip, and the set line is just so gosh dang tight. The skiff is going up like this, and he's on the ground trying to get his wits about him because he just got fucked up. Not only that, the captain is closest to the net going out. And if your foot gets caught in that net, it's no bueno. So our captain actually gets stuck in the net. His foot gets caught in the lead line, and he starts getting dragged out the back of the freaking boat. Duncan and I are seeing all this. Our hearts are racing, and we can't do anything about it. The motor's still freaking going. We're using these old ass freaking things where if you're just turning the throttle a little bit, it's gonna get stuck there. Like, it's, you know, you could just hold it there and it is stuck. You know, we're using these old ass pieces of crap and nothing is going right. So our captain is going out the back of the boat. He's trying to get the motor and everything right, and he's like, what the fuck? We're all screaming and shit. I couldn't let the captain of our boat go out the back, because then he's gonna sink to the bottom and he's not gonna be able to swim back up. You know, that's death right there. He's gonna get stuck at the bottom with a lead line around him that's, you know, freaking 1,000 pounds. So I can't move the freaking set line. So instead of trying to push it forward and get out and jump over it, I've got to go under it. So I'm sitting here trying to, you know, get under the set line so I can go get him. And of course, right when I get up to my head, it like, the motor's still going and it flings and it just gets my head and scrapes up, and I've got this big welt to my head. I'm bleeding and everything. And now the pressure's all on Duncan, and he's basically getting dragged over the side of the boat. I run to the back to get our captain Steve out of the freaking net. I get him. We turn the motor off. We put the motor in reverse so we can let some of that slack go out. Our skiff completely goes haywire. And when we do that, the motor just happened to be the wrong way, and the freaking set line completely snaps. Comes back, almost freaking takes our head off. We basically just lost a net and a set line. We basically lost like $5,000 worth of gear to the bottom of the gosh dang freaking Cook Inlet in Alaska. Now, we have all these freaking other boats that are in our crew. They see what's happening, and our main captain, you know, comes freaking flying over, cussing us out, telling us we're a bunch of freaking idiots and all this shit. We're completely shocked and bruised up. I've got bleeding all over my stomach. My head's all fucked up. My captain is completely, you know, he's like, I almost just died. We're all just like, we almost just died. And Duncan and I thought we were gonna get freaking cut in half. So we lose this shit. We're in a big amount of freaking trouble and everything, and we end up moving to another buoy. We set the net the right way this time, and that's one of the times, you know, we almost died. I literally could see my life flashing before my eyes. I was like remembering my mom and my dad and my brothers and sisters, and it was no bueno, right? So we end up getting on the net set and everything like that. The salmon aren't running, so we're like, okay, we're gonna go in and we're gonna start mending nets and shit. This is when the other part comes up. We get into shore and everything like that. We have all these flatbed trucks and these old Ford F-100s and shit that we basically go from the beach back to our camp. And I can't remember what road connects the two, but it's a busy road that a lot of 18-wheelers and shit are on that are taking loads from different fish sites and whatever. What happens is it's dark at this point, and you know, we've got taillights and stuff on the truck, but they're old ass trucks, man. Everything's so dimmed and crap. We're all in the back of this flatbed, and we pull out onto the main highway to to go back. Our camp's over here, right? So we're at the beach entrance here. We go out on this main highway. All of us are loaded up on the back of this flatbed, and we're hauling balls back to freaking camp. And it just so happens this 18-wheeler is flying towards us, and we're all on the back of the freaking, you know, we're going this way, and we're all on the back of this flatbed, and we see this 18-wheeler coming at us hard, like probably 100 miles an hour. And you know, when you're in Alaska, you got to be careful of people driving, because a lot of people in that area of Alaska are on drugs year round. Okay, the weather's never that great, and you know, it's a good chance that 50% of the people on the road are on pills or something. Mind you, this is the same day. This is right after we almost just died. So we see these giant headlights of this 18-wheeler coming right at us, and nobody's really doing anything. And I'm like, guys, this is, the guy's coming pretty quick. And, you know, our captain's driving the truck. He doesn't really see it. I don't even think it has freaking mirrors on it. And I'm like, guys. Everybody starts seeing it, and we all start freaking waving at this truck. And we don't know if the taillights are working or whatever. And we're all just waving and screaming and like, hey, do you see us? Because if he doesn't see us, he's gonna plow into us, and we're on a flatbed. I mean, we're gonna go flying. We're gonna get eaten up. We're going like 60 miles an hour. That truck's going about 100. And it was a big ass freaking International, dude. It was gonna fuck us up. So he's about, I'm not even kidding, like 30 feet in front of us. He finally sees us waving and screaming, and you just hear his brakes lock up. And we're just about getting ready to turn in, so we're slowing down. You know, I still to this day, I don't know if our brake lights were working or whatever, but we're starting to slow down. This 18-wheeler locks his brakes up and starts sliding. I see his freaking trailer start going. I'm like, oh my God, we're about to get a trailer just imploded on us, and we're gonna be flattened. Saw my life flash before my eyes, second time in the same day. It's like a freaking movie, guys. His trailer starts scooting right towards us. I mean, he's probably 10 feet from us now. And basically the driver was smart enough to put it in a lower gear and haul balls beside us before we freaking turned. So when we heard his motor start revving back up, we were kind of scared, but we thought we kind of knew what he was doing. We told our captain, hey, stop. This guy basically gets his trailer somewhat under control, and I'm not even kidding when I say inches. Like, we all freaking basically went towards the cab with our legs up like this because we thought he was gonna hit us. And he goes around us like with his cab, and then the trailer starts coming back towards us. It's sliding all over the place, and he misses us by like that much. I'm not kidding. Like, it was by this freaking much. I saw it like, I mean, I could have barely reached out and touched it like this. And the back tires could have easily come over the freaking flatbed and ran us over. It was not freaking good, dude. Luckily, he got past us. Our captain slammed on the brakes. All of us almost went flying off the freaking flatbed. And we got away with life again. And that day was so stressful, so ridiculous. We didn't even have time to like gather our freaking thoughts because we had to go right back out and just keep working. But I remember that day in my freaking head like it was yesterday. And that was the closest I've been to losing my life twice. Doing the most deadliest job there is, not out in the freaking Bering Sea where the waves are going like crazy, and I did that the next year, but it was all just ridiculous crap that kept happening. So while I was sick this past couple days, I've been thinking about that and how lucky I am to still be here and being able to do what I continue to do here on YouTube and for you guys. And I feel like I need to continue to tell these kind of stories that have happened in my life, because I've had a lot of stories like that. That was just a very significant one. But just remember where we live and how lucky you are to still be alive when there's hundreds of thousands of people dying every day. There's people in other countries that don't have anything, and you at least have a computer. These people have never even seen a computer. There's people overseas fighting wars, getting shot at, IEDs blown up. I've been an angry person, and I feel like remembering that and humbling myself, it just, like, instantly, I'm so much better around other people. I'm so much, I'm more understandable now, and it really makes me freaking happy to still be here. And I kind of just wanted to share that story with you guys, because those kind of experiences, I feel like I shouldn't keep that in. I feel like I should share it with you guys and hopefully inspire you guys to do the same thing. Just be happy, man. Be happy for that we're here, we're living good, and bad shit happens every gosh dang day. But it's up to you to continuously keep going and live life the way you want it to be lived. So I don't know, that was a long, overdrawn freaking story. I don't even know if you guys gave a shit or not, but I kind of wanted to tell that because I don't think I have before. And if you guys do want to hear any more stories like that, I've got plenty of them, not just from Alaska. You know, once I was done that year, by the way, I never got paid really shit. I got paid like $3 grand for 4 months, which, you know, I could work at McDonald's and make more than that shit. But after that season, I got in the fishing, commercial fishing network and whatever, and I actually got a job on another boat in the Bering Sea the next year. I've got some stories from that as well. I've actually got a journal where I wrote down like every single day, so I can tell some more stories like that and more life experiences that I have if you guys want to freaking hear them. So let me know in the comments below. Make sure to thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it. Listen, guys. All I'm saying, I used to preach it all the time. Stay positive, stay humble, and just know there's someone out there with a shittier life than you. And that is what should keep you going. All right, well, I think that's gonna do it for me. This video I've been recording for over half an hour right now, so I don't even know how this is gonna be once it's edited, but thank you guys for watching again. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're new here. And one more thing before I go. On my website, keepithillbilly.com, my merch in the description box below. I've only got a few t-shirts left. I've got like a couple different styles and they are almost sold out. There's only a couple left in each size or whatever. Just to let you guys know, all these shirts and everything are going to be discontinued because I've got some more ideas that I'm going to be doing down the road. So shirts like this, my yellow shirt, those are the last ones ever. So you guys could be the last ones to freaking get them. So make sure to go to the website and get that sumbitch. And I got plenty of other cool stuff over there like mud jugs and stickers and all that crap. So just thought I'd let you guys know about that. Everything I talked about is in the link description box below. Link the description box below. All the links are in there. Love y'all. We'll see y'all on the dip side. My name's Outlaw and I'm out, y'all. Always remember, no matter what you're doing, 25, 8, 366. Keep it freaking hillbilly. Stay positive, stay humble, and we'll see you next time. Holler.
Been on the road for a while, looking at the dial. Drive another mile. Hard to see my family smile at my lifestyle. Cold case file, like I feel like I'm on trial. What you gonna do? What you gotta prove? Why you gotta move? They all disapprove. What is there to see? Hair up in the breeze, counting all the trees. Freedom is the key.